Hello, welcome, Stories with AJ, episode 10. I'm your host, AJ, also known as Ajay, also known as Iconolly2. And today, episode 10, is a very special episode because I have a very special visitor and guest. This is my good friend, Ricardo Rodriguez. Ricardo, welcome. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So, and the reason why this is so important, so Ricardo and I, we go way back. We've skateboarded together, of course. That theme. We've washed dishes together over at Cracker Barrel. That was a fun time. We actually had our first apartment together, which is funny because we moved out of our parents' houses together, but yet here I am recording in my parents' house that I moved out of. So that's just kind of funny, which is also sweet because I found this my dad's jacket in the closet. The jean jacket. It's got a little lapel there, a little pin, and I think it's great. So he's probably gonna be mad that he sees this and sees that I'm wearing it, but that's okay. Sorry, Dad. And why it's also so important and very special today is because Ricardo here is the reason you are seeing this. If it wasn't for Ricardo, I would never be able to start to get these out. I wouldn't be able to build them. I wouldn't be able to get them out on the internet. I was really waiting for episodes 1 through 10 to fully be published and then put them out on the internet. But because of Ricardo, I was able to get them out and start to get that feedback sooner. So thank you so much for pushing me.
You're welcome.
Oh, wonderful. So I have a special treat today. I'm going to go into my reading. I want to take you back into 2005 and 2006, so come on back with us. So these could really be my last words. I don't really want your face to fade. However, we'll never understand why things hurt so bad. You want to have my best friend, so I'll let you kiss him if you want. I'm the most understanding guy that I can be. There's a little anger, it's hidden inside. And every single morning, I pray you'll be back. Because it hurts so much just to get out of bed. The things you know are what I can't feel. And we're understanding each other, but we're killing with words. Is there anything worse than tears with no volume? I say I love you. I say I hate you. For all things you've done to me, I will never forget you. Woo, there we go. And we're done. What'd you think? A lot of one-liners brought back some memories. And for the listeners and viewers out there, that's back, 2005, 2006. And, you got to remember it was like 1 or 2 years after my first tour. So I'm still still young, still learning, what's going on. And I still have, a lot of hope and a lot of, wishful thinking for the world. I'm freshly falling in love, but I fell into love and now I've fallen out of love. I had a little bit of heartache there. I'm sure you could tell that. And what's funny, I don't, not to jump ahead of myself here, but those two, you read the lines there. I'll let you kiss him if you want. That's right. And I did. I let my girlfriend at the time, kiss, my other friend. I'm like, if you think you like him, then go find out, And lo and behold, they actually got married. So congratulations. Life moves on. Everything happens for a reason. So it's all good. And it's just funny how things work out, Yeah. But yeah. So just taking a second to pause and thinking about that. Starting the very poem, song, whatever we want to call this. So these really could be my last words. That's a heavy statement. That's really not something to blow by. And I know it's easy to read, and we're now, I don't know, 10 years later down the road, and I now know that days have come and gone. Some are better than others, but just wow. That was a heavy point in time in my life, and what I know during that period, I was deciding what am I gonna do with myself, and I do remember creating this other live journal that no one ever knew about. I had mine, the Iconolly2, but I had actually created another live journal. You don't even know this. I'm telling you this for the first time, and there's only one other person now that knows, and it's because I told them last week. It was the second one, and it was a way for me to open up, and it was just the brutal, honest. If there was ever a time of AJ talking about AJ and the really bad feelings and the way that I had thought the world, that was it. That was my way, and that was my way to get those stuff out without being judged or feared of anyone seeing it or being caught. I guess that's the word. But that is what I did, and maybe one day, maybe I will actually read that very first post, because it was very heavy time, and that was they were very heavy words. And at the end of the day, sometimes you remember making decisions and thinking this is gonna be it, and sometimes you get caught by a boat in Bay City, and it's just enough time for you to calm down and reflect on your things and your thoughts and what your decisions were going to be. So sometimes a boat can save your life, but learning from my mistakes, it's easy to look back, blow through that, and just remember that the bad day that I was having, the bad time, and the feelings of being so mad over the relationship. It wasn't easy, and there's different ways to cope. Everyone copes a little bit differently. Like, again, I went to LiveJournal, I went to writings, and I went to screaming in the car. These guys have some good memories. They're probably not pretty, but nonetheless, those were ways that I handled it, and maybe some good and some bad things out of that. But Ricardo, I mean, you saw me at my best and you saw me at my worst, but what about you? And I'm sure you've had some ups and downs, and what are some ways that you've coped with that?
One of the biggest things that I think, I've come to know is relying on friends is a huge thing. There's, you come across hard times, things get pretty bad, but there's always people you can call. There's always people you can talk to. Remember, I had a really bad time, and I dialed up a friend that I really hadn't talked to all that much, and they came over and we talked, and I think that was probably the best thing ever. You can always, handle it with music, or you can handle it with, other things, but it's sometimes is very easy to go to a very dark place to where things can get pretty dark and
really
depressing. One song that comes to mind is Self-Conclusion. And in that song, there's a very good part in there that says, "We all flirt with the tiniest notion of self-conclusion and one simplified motion. You see, the trick is
you're not supposed to act on it, no matter how unbearable this misery gets." Yes. Oh, right there.
So that is to say that, sometimes things get real, real bad, but, it's a really great song. And, the very end of that, the first time I heard that, it just completely gave me chills. And it was a good, good thing that that I was able to find, really good message in that song that, sometimes right now in the present, it feels like we're never going to get through this, but we do come out on the other end as long as we ask for help, and things do get better. So
yeah, that's and that one is a good one. I highly recommend it on your Spotify, Pandora, YouTube playlist. Check it out. And in that case, and in that song, I remember, the singer, finds this person out on the cliff and wanting to jump, and the only reason they found the person wanting to jump is because they came to jump themselves, and it turns out, like, hey, if you can get through this, and get through it with me, then we can get through this together. And so there's strength in numbers, which is so important. Again, like you're talking about, I think to hit it home is that friendship. Your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, aunts, uncles, your family is out there, and your friends, even if they're not blood related. I mean, the older you get, the smaller your friend circle becomes, but you become even tighter. And I think that means everything. You might be able to make a phone call or send a text, and next thing you know, 5 minutes later, boom, you're surrounded.
There's always somebody out there that can help, or if you just need somebody to listen, there's always somebody.
Always. I think ways that I found to cope is, of course, with exercise. I love to run, skateboard, but running, writing, and even reading, and even going on drives and looking at the stars or the river. Water, flowing water is just so
Something really peaceful about it.
So zen. Again, I love it. Thank you, Bay City. And think I remember one time back in our old apartment. It was a bad night. Okay, I guess long story short, it was a bad night. But I just remember sitting out in the parking lot, and we just kind of sat out there and talked for a while before we head back in, just to clear my mind. And um, that was a tough one. Okay, I guess long story short, so that was a bad night, guys. And I guess if I'm gonna be open, I'm gonna be real. What had happened was, I remember I was had this notion and this idea that that time the friend and that girlfriend were hanging out, and she used to work at the same restaurant that you were working at. That's just now out of business, but we had went to the mall there, and we went in the outlot, and we saw in the parking lot there, and boom, his car was still there, and there was no reason for him to be there. And it was like late at night, like getting close to close, and I just had lost it. And I remember you and Drew were holding me back from like just jumping out of that car and beating the living, out of him. And I had just lost it. It was awful. It was a bad night, and we ended up going back to the apartment. And I just remember saying there, like, "Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, I'm okay." And I don't even remember what happened after that. I mean, I know eventually we came back out and we went back in, but I had left. So long story short, when someone's sad and depressed, don't leave them alone.
Yeah,
Because I took off. I don't even remember where I went. I really don't. I think I have an idea, but I could be completely wrong, so I just don't want to say it. But so
I think a big takeaway is that if you ever feel like somebody's in that bad spot, or there's some type of you have a
Yeah.
feeling, or you just feel like something's not right, check on them.
yeah, you can't fight it alone. And as a commander, that was huge. I watched a lot of soldiers try to handle things all internally, all by themselves, because they're the man of the house, or whatever they felt, and it never worked out. I promise you, it never worked out. It always blew up, and then next thing you know, they're in my office, and it could have been avoided a long time ago. All you had to do was say, "Hey, I need someone to talk to."
I mean, don't be afraid to ask for help, because, um, you know, sometimes you never know when you can save somebody's life, or just talk them off that ledge, or if you feel like that person, there are signs out there, and should always keep an eye out, because you never know when you can change somebody's life, or save them from themselves sometimes. And
True. And if you end it, then you don't create any new memories.
yeah, there's too much. Life is just a small portion in life, and before you know it, you're on to bigger and better things, and moving towards something better with your life. And yeah, that's just one spot that sucked, and now you can move on to doing something better, or there's so much more life to be lived. And before you know it, it's you can almost look at it and say that was just really dumb, or really stupid. And now I have moved on with the journey of life, and now we're on to other things, and that's just, now it's but a small memory.
It is. So that was a lot, but that was then, and a little bit more about back then. So back then, 2005, 2006, we were running amok. We were still skateboarding. We were still driving around. We were still in the restaurant field, and making pizzas, bartending. Ricardo was one of the coolest bartenders you'll ever know. I used to have a drink called the AJ. Come in, slap on the bar. I'll take the AJ, please.
Put it on Pat's tab.
Put it on Pat's tab, yes. I hope he never watches this. But anyway, so big fun thing about that too was, of course, the concerts. We've seen so many concerts together. Of course, Thursday, Brand New, Amberlin, all these favorites. And we are still seeing concerts today, which is just fantastic. Continually making friends and new memories, and It's been a blast hanging out with you, man.
It's been a blast with you too.
Wonderful. All right, so that's back where we were at. Just thinking about today and moving into the future. I think a good bridge there is concerts. What I love about music and concerts, and more specifically, is I remember the band called Thursday. They had broken up for 5 years, and they came back to Riot Fest, and it was like all hands on board. It doesn't matter what you're doing, cancel all your plans. Ricardo, you're coming with me. We're going to Chicago, and we are going to Riot Fest because Thursday is playing. This is not a drill, and so we're so excited. But what is so great about music and having that emotion and that feeling and all those things that you remember about the music, the CDs. Ricardo, what do you think about that?
I think one of the biggest things is where the music can take you. With each band, they put out CD after CD. The great thing is that each CD, it can take you back to a memory or just by a song. Takes you back to a point in time where you easily know what was going on in your life. The memories you were sharing with people. They kind of have that ability to always keep taking you back to those memories, so you kind of have that what was going on during this CD, what was happening in my life. It's I love music for that point that you can always associate it with memories and friends and
Absolutely.
the ability to always be able to go back in time and visit friends, memories.
Yeah, the good and the bad and the ugly, I guess.
Yeah, oh definitely.
And that's what's so beautiful about music and going to those concerts and it hits you in those feels, I think, as the internet loves to say. And there's been so many shows, and especially being from Michigan, Detroit, Rock City, right? How many tours and concerts come through Detroit and of course Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Ann Arbor, Bay City. A lot of local bands, but that's another episode. But you're absolutely right, and I think that's one of my favorite things today. And I don't know about you, I have this bittersweet moments about plugging my iPod to my car, and I'll listen to some of those things that I haven't listened to in years. And next thing you know, I'm crying, I'm bawling, I'm just screaming at the top of my lungs. Put something on like the early November. And just driving down the road. So I hope that you out there, I hope I'm not alone in that aspect.
No, I don't think you're alone at all. I mean, like I said, it's takes you back, but it's a good kind of feeling.
Yes,
memory,
absolutely. So. It makes you feel good. So good stuff there. And again, I just wanted to share this little story. I hate to bring this back up, Ricardo. But Riot Fest, here we are. We're in Chicago now. We had just found some parking way out over there. We're walking. We finally found this one little parking spot a million miles away. And then we're walking in, and Ricardo's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, well, we're going to go in the venue. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be food there. He's like, but there's street tacos right there. I'm like, well, I mean, I understand that's a valid point, but we don't know who these guys are. I mean, they're charging you $20 to use the bathroom or $5 for a street taco. And so I did not partake in the street tacos, but Ricardo did, and he didn't die, so that's good.
No. Part of living life is going on an adventure, and if you're gonna take off and go see Riot Fest for the first time, why not just partake in everything and kind of jump out there and say, all right, well, we're gonna enjoy these street tacos.
I just want to throw it out there, though, that your wife and I were on the same page that was a bad idea, and you just don't know, and shame on you. But, Amy, I tried. I seriously did try, but,
But
nope.
I made it through, so...
You made your choices, I made mine. I guess we both turned out okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very fun. And, boy, I'd love to hear some of your, favorite concert stories and, those events that happened in your life. Maybe you remember seeing a venue and you just heard the acoustics and it just, hit you right here. Or, you felt the bass so much in your stomach. You're like, oof, maybe you had stomach gurgles for 3 days. Who knows? I'd love to hear your story. So please make sure you, let me know in the comments below or, share share something that you can relate that you heard today. You know, maybe you're that dishwasher and you're like, man, I just want to go do bigger things, but don't worry, it happens. You get there. You know, when we were 21,
You gotta start
drinking for
somewhere.
the first time, you know, we had a lot of amazing moments, and you know, of course, you know, we didn't have the fancy apartments, we didn't have, you know, lots of money, and I don't think either of us today are still there, but you know, at least we have heat now. We don't have to, you know, use lots of blankets. Actually, there is another blanket in the other room that I wanted to show you. It's all about the stripes. There's another photo out there. Again, as I talked about 2 episodes ago, once something is out on the internet, it is out there forever. So take that for what it's worth. Remember what you post, because it is very important. But yes, so the key though, Ricardo, is we've had such a great friendship, and we've had all these memories, and we've been able to sustain this for so long because we've put in the work. And you know, I want to just tie that in back to the relationships. Not every relationship works. You know, your heart might break because, you know, the girl of your dream just left, the boy of your dream just left. You know what, it happens. And I want to say time heals all, it gets better. But you know, everyone's different. Everyone needs a little bit different time. Everyone needs their own little thing. Maybe you need to go look at the water. Maybe you need to go to a concert. Maybe you don't need to go play the drums and just bang the heck out of, you know, your drums or your bass guitar. But nonetheless, it takes work. Nothing is easy. And you know, as you heard in the intro, I've moved so many times, but the constant there is we are constantly talking on the phone. I know that if I'm not calling you, you'll call me. And then text messages, of course, there's silly internet memes and stuff out there, but you know, maybe there's another game out there like Pokemon Go, or you know, whatever the case is, or even, you know, staying up late at night and playing like, you know, Tony Hawk or Halo. You know, those are some good times. And I remember I used to have that Xbox in our first apartment, and that introduced me to a whole nother world of music that I still listen to today on the iPod now. I'm like, oh yes, maybe these guys only put out 1 CD, but man, that 1 CD is fantastic. But it's not easy. No, so put in that work. You know, make sure that you know, pull out your phone right now. In fact, right now, I want you to pull out your phone, go through your contacts, just find anyone that you haven't talked to a long time, and just text them and say, hey. Wanted to say, hey, I appreciate that one time that you helped me move. 4 times that you helped me move. Or I appreciate that one time that, you know, you're able to listen to music with me. Or, you know, whatever that special memory is, just do it. Do it right now. What are you waiting for? I mean, don't listen to me. Pull out your phone, text them, hey, you were a great commander. Just kidding. Or you were a terrible squad leader, you're a terrible commander, whatever it is. Just text them. Say, hey, you know, we're never too busy to say hi. You know, we put priority on what you want to do in life. Yes. You know, when we get busy, things happen. I understand, but you know, take the time right now. So, it does take time. It does take effort. It takes effort on both parts. So thank you for all these years of friendships and many memories of concerts. And lots of band t-shirts. Now I've got dressers full of black band t-shirts. But hey, that's all right. It's all good stuff. So just remember, folks, love hurts. You know, it does. I'm sorry. But when one door closes, another one opens, right? I know it's so cliche, but man, it's the truth, okay? Even if your girlfriend at the time dyes her hair red, and seems to change personalities and wants to date your other friend, so what? You know, love hurts. One door closes, another one opens. And relationships and friendships both take work. So you know what? Maybe you gotta look at yourself too. And you know what? Are you putting in the extra energy or effort, or are you just saying, "Oh, I'm good here. I'm solid here. So I don't need to get flowers. I don't need to call. I don't need to send a text." Because you know what? It does. You know what? You need to put in that effort. You need to show that you care, because you know what? I care. Ricardo cares. Yeah. I think you listening, you care. So put in that work. So as always, just remember, you know, it takes one person to change the world. And all of us together, who knows what we can do? We have unlimited stuff there. So we can definitely change the world. So keep doing great things out there. I encourage you to do great things. I'm going to do great things. You're going to do great things. You as the viewers and listeners always continue to do great things. Because I'm proud of you. Now, go send that text. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you next week. We'll talk about a story that I wrote out in Iraq the second time about detaining operations. So what does that mean? I don't know. We'll find out. Bye, guys.
Yep. Thanks.